This is Master Obi-Manix Kenobi, and I regret to inform you that it's no longer Star Wars since Disney took over. It's the gender wars with the dark shadow of the fade-in, fade-out queen Kathleen Karen Kennedy rising to take her place. Just look at the initials for a second. Kathleen Karen Kennedy. That tells you all you need to know, but ladies and gentlemen, the Streisand effect is still in full working order because Disney's feelings were hurt so badly that Big Brother YouTube had to step in again. Yes, it looks like Big Tech is back at it once again. Hit the subscribe button because according to China, YouTube and Disney plebs don't deserve to speak their mind. They should only be talked down to. So if you want channels like mine to keep speaking against this bullshit, ring the notification bell, baby. Now, YouTube is quickly becoming a raging dumpster fire. It's been smoldering for years now. And quite frankly, I'm actually shocked that it took them this long to try and pull this shit. Here's a message for you, Disney and China. A burning pile of dung is still a burning pile of dung, even if you don't allow people to say it, because YouTube unironically misses the point that if you need your dislikes hidden, everybody and their mother knows that you're rocking a ratio Darth Vader lightsaber as a dislike bar. All red, baby! In response to creator feedback around well-being and targeted dislike campaigns, we're testing a few new designs that don't show the public dislike count, and if you're part of this small experiment, you might spot one of these designs in the coming weeks. Example below. Oh my fucking god. It's almost like creators already had a way to prevent dislike bombing. It's almost as if they could just turn their like and dislike ratings off. But that's kind of the underlying point here, because if YouTube hides it for everyone, then Star Wars doesn't look ridiculous for hiding it on their channel. This is their way of hiding their failures in life. And by the way, all a dislike literally means is doesn't like. Oh, stop the clock. That's so terrible. I'm gonna have a mental breakdown because someone doesn't like my video. I want people to realize how insanely pathetic this is. YouTube is essentially saying the dislike button is used to bully corporations. We can't have that. Wow, will someone think of the poor, bullied, multi-million, billion-dollar corporations like Disney and Lucasfilm? Oh, the horror. This is just one more step towards criticism being labeled as hate speech. When they try and take away your ability to criticize anything, we shouldn't be surprised when billion-dollar corporations bend the knee to China, because we all see them for what they are, literal garbage. But such is the power of Darth Kennedy. The reason why she's in the title of the video is because the official Star Wars channel has been getting dislike bombed into oblivion. These are real people showing their displeasure at what Lucasfilm are doing, and YouTube, in their efforts to silence and hide anything that dare stray away from their narrative, are openly and willingly protecting corrupt corporations so they can all gain more control. Isn't that just nice? They need to remove the U in YouTube and just name the site China Told Me to Do It. Anyway, I think I need to cover this Brie Larson story because the Disney and Lucasfilm think tank must have overdosed on the blue hair dye, because as if Star Wars couldn't get even more woke. This is like if someone joked about making a parody of woke Disney and then Disney said, hey, that's a great idea, and went ahead and did it. This reminds me of that mobile game where Rey Palpatine is stronger than Darth Vader and even Yoda. Now, this latest rumor out of Star Wars doesn't surprise me, because life imitates art, and Brie Larson is supremely powerful. Her very presence is enough to wipe out half of humanity with cringe. Okay, joking aside, I should mention that once a month Brie Larson's character turns into a raging Sith, so everybody stay out of her way. I can only imagine at the end of her trilogy she says, my name is Brie Skywalker. I mean, this is hysterical. They're literally going to turn Brie Larson into my superhero is stronger than yours. Oh, you like Darth Vader? Well, this wham man is 10 times more powerful. So powerful, in fact, that she killed off what was left of the Star Wars audience. Ha ha ha! I should make this clear. George Lucas has stated that Luke Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi. End of fucking story. You know, I was already done with Star Wars and by extension Disney, but this feels like a test of how pissed can we get our fans to be. But I've got some good news because Brie Larson isn't joining Star Wars, at least not yet. Because this story is coming from one Mike Zero, a man who said that Finn Wolfhard would play a young Ben Solo in a 4-hour George Lucas Rise of Skywalker cut. Suffice to say, I would take anything he spits out with a huge grain of salt. Because if the source for this Brie Larson thing is Mike Zero, then you might as well have asked a Down syndrome kid to come up with a baseless story, because that would hold the same amount of weight. If any one of my viewers watches Mike Zero, take a drink every time he says Bob Chapek. By the end of each video, you'll be too drunk and almost dead from alcohol poisoning to care if anything he says is true or not. But you know what? Let's go under the pretense of what Mike Zero tells me is true, and even if it isn't, because it's 100% fake, because I really doubt that this story has any validity to it, but it really encompasses the fact that the state of Lucasfilm has become a festering wound of suffering and injustice. It cannot be saved and must be allowed to die. And judging by the plummeting Disney Plus subscriptions, it looks like the normies have finally realized that you don't need Disney Plus to watch Disney Plus shows. Imagine my surprise. I'm so glad many people sailed the high seas to watch all of their shit, because these psychos don't deserve your money. And if you really want to gauge the popularity of a movie or TV show, just check how many leeches and how many CDs there are for it on popular torrent sites. Those pirates on the high seas have no reason to lie or fumble about numbers. I've never, of course, partook in such nefarious behavior, because I've been a good pirate, and no one with an ounce of integrity is still paying for Disney Plus. A subscription to Disney is a donation to crimes against humanity, as a certain Asian country owns them. Anyway, back on topic. George Lucas sold Disney a franchise that was literally a license to print money, and they turned it into a dumpster fire because a feminist had an axe to grind and a political agenda to implement. You know, seeing this whole thing go down makes me appreciate directors like Peter Jackson, who I think did a phenomenal job with The Lord of the Rings, and I feel like George Lucas could have had a similar outcome for his own sequel trilogy. But we all know that isn't happening anymore. See, Kathleen Kennedy treats Disney Star Wars fans like mushrooms. She feeds them and keeps them in the dark, and on that bombshell, Mannix out.